Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the mail. Yeah, that's right. I know, sounds like a boring topic, but actually it's a very, very important topic for many, many reasons. So we're going to be talking about the local mail service. We're going to be talking about, what are the better choices and how to really, send and receive things out here. And, just again, dispelling myths, talking about it and all that good stuff. Now, today's episode, we're also going to be doing a little bit of double duty. We're gonna get on the bike now and we're gonna ride along. In fact, let me just stop wasting time with the intro, right, and start heading out to our destination. So today we're gonna start off on the bike and we're gonna end it on foot, because I'm actually going to the bike store because I need to get my bike serviced. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you guys remember the last episode, or it might be the episode after this. I'm not quite sure, because I filmed these all kind of random and all over the place. But, the reality was that, last episode, one of the previous episodes, or one of the more recent episodes, I was having a little bit of difficulty. And trouble with the bike. And well, that's what we're going to, the bike shop. Okay, so I figured, why not take you guys with me and we can talk about all this stuff, so first thing we're going to talk about is the mail. First of all, we're going to talk about the mail service, but we're going to talk about the Mexican Post Office. All right, that's the first thing we're going to talk about, because a lot of people, especially everyone that's coming at me from the United States, you guys that are coming from the US are always wanting to, first of all, you always contacting me, want to mail stuff out here to me, and I think that's great and wonderful, and I appreciate it. Much love, thank you. But the reality is like, if you guys are gonna send me something, you guys quickly realize it's gonna get real expensive real quick, no matter what you're trying to send me. And so there's, hey doggy, there's a few options. Again, FedEx, UPS, DHL, and I could go on and on. Like I said, there's a bunch of reputable services that I'm sure you're aware of, and I would highly recommend you use them as opposed to the actual post office out here. Why? Well, because in the United States, we're kind of spoiled and we're kind of used to our own post office that, basically it's amazing. Just for like a few bucks, you get to send something from sea to shining sea. You know what I mean? From one end of the country to the other end of the country, and in many cases even internationally for cheap. So if you're going to be sending to Mexico, it's probably very cheap for a bunch of reasons. And but the reality is that once the United States Postal Service hands off the package to Mexico, that's it. You know what I mean? It's all in the hands of Mexico now, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Their actual mail service, the Mexican Post Office, is no bueno. It's pretty shitty. Now, it's good for a few things. Like if you want to, do like a postcard or drop off some sort of mail that's not, very important. Yeah, the mail service is great. But for basically anything else, which is, again, you don't want to lose your package or your mail, then yeah, I would highly suggest you don't use a Mexican post office. Because when I first moved out here, I had no idea, and I found out the hard way as people sent stuff to me, or I had to send stuff away, and not knowing any better, I used the Mexican post office thinking it's at least, I don't know, comparable to what we had in the US. But I had no idea how bad and how horrible it is. So basically this is how it works. If any one of you guys out there wants to send me a package and you're sending it through just a regular mail service, first of all, it's going to take months and months. Even if you overnight it, yeah, sure, it's going to overnight to the border, but once it's in the hands of the, again, the Mexican post office, it's probably, they probably put it on a donkey or a burro and they fucking walk it all the way down here. Honestly, I don't know what they do, but it's definitely like that. And then once the package gets here, it's not, not always in the best conditions and all that other stuff. So, in the reality, using the post office is not advised. not advised. Because again, if you want and need your package to arrive, which I think everybody does, then you're gonna quickly realize that the post office, it's like a 50-50 chance, honestly, to tell you the truth. It's like a 50-50 chance whether you're gonna receive it or not. And like I said, it's gonna take months, no matter how quickly you think it's gonna get there. It's just, you know, it's gonna take a long time. All right, and then a lot of times when the package gets there, you still need to do things like probably go down to the post office yourself and pick it up, because they're probably not going to deliver it or deliver it right or deliver it correctly, or you know, they're just gonna, you know, pretend like they don't know where the address is or get lost. And again, every user experience is different. At least my user experience, horrible. So I learned the hard way to use other services. And yeah, other services are way more expensive, but 1000% reliable. So we're gonna be talking a little bit more about that on the way back. I'm actually just want to see if I can focus on at least talking to you about the Mexican post office at first. But there's really not much to say, you know what I mean? Like I said, no matter where you're sending mail from, it's not the best. It's not the best. And like you know, for the like, so you know, because a lot of you guys out there, you know, are constantly reaching out to me for whatever reason, you know, in order to send some stuff out here. And I think it's great, but you know, the reality is that like I don't really have an address to give. I don't have a PO box. They have PO boxes out here, but they're expensive, very expensive, a lot more than the US, and they're few and far in between. And you know, again, I'm not getting a PO box just for a few of you guys can send me a few things that, you know, again, I would have to, you know, pay an arm and a leg and then travel all the way out there to you know, to get access to that. In the US is a little bit more accessible and worth it. You know, it's understandable to get it there, but not really here. And then when it comes to receiving mail, because I do receive mail, I do have a US address. We talked about this and all that good stuff. So, you know, when I got to do that, well, I do that. So I'm okay, at least for my mail situation. For you guys, it's a little different. But like, look, right up ahead, you're gonna see is a perfect example. As you guys can see there, and maybe you've seen in other videos, and if you've been out here, you know, you'll see the DHL truck like that, you know, nice and professional. You know, basically what you're used to back home. You know, DHL, UPS, FedEx, whatever. You know, you're gonna get a lot of what you're already used to. There's no doubt about that. But when you get the regular mail, like again, the Mexican post office delivered, that guy will show up on a bike or a bicycle, or you know what I mean, like a motorbike, like what you just saw there, like a motorcycle or a bike. That's how that guy delivers the mail. And it's very random, because I do get some mail delivered to my house, but it's like, again, it's like a guy on a bike or a guy on a motorcycle, and he's just there to drop off a letter. He's not, we don't have mail service like every single person in the neighborhood gets mail every day. That doesn't exist out here. It's basically, it's more like every once in a while you'll get the mail guy in the neighborhood, and he's there to deliver a few pieces of mail to a few people, and that's about it. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it works out here. It's very different. And so a lot of you guys are probably asking about Amazon and things like that, because look, I've told you how Amazon is awesome, and a lot of times I just order my Amazon and it's here within a few days. And it also gets delivered, you know, sometimes on foot, sometimes on a guy on a bicycle, sometimes a guy in a car, sometimes a guy on a motorcycle, on a scooter, many ways it gets delivered. But I quickly realized that that whole delivery is taken care of by Amazon itself. Oh, there it is. Hey, I found it. All right, so I'm gonna have to cross the street here, so let me get off the bike. Got like traffic all around me here. All right, we're gonna start crossing the street as we move on to section 2 of the video here. But yeah, guys, at the end of the day, you know, if you order Amazon, you order McDonald's, you order a lot of these things, they have like their own service, their own something that basically brings it out to you, whether it's overnight or in a few hours or in a few days or whatever. So you don't got to worry about that, and so the shipping is very cheap. So if you're in Mexico the shipping is also very cheap. And what do I mean by that? Well, simply what I mean is that if you're shipping from one corner of Mexico to another, you use like companies like Estafeta and other local delivery companies to deliver it for you. All right, so this is the place, guys. I don't know if you guys can see. I think you guys can see it up there. This is the bike shop. So we're at the bike shop. We're gonna be talking more about all that on the way back. All right, we got a long walk back. It's already been 10 minutes. This is gonna be a long episode. Oh, not so much. See you guys in a bit. All right, so, well, like I said, that's the bicycle shop. Before we move on to continue the rest of the episode, let me talk about this real quick, because a lot of you guys are always asking me, you know, what's one of the best places or a really good place, you know, to get a bicycle or to get it serviced, or, you know, just anything bicycle related. BC Maya. Now, like I said, it's spelled B-I-C-I Maya. Bruh. Anyways, but yeah, there's a lot of places that do bike stuff, you know what I mean? There's tons of little places around town that are basically, you know, the guy's front yard, you know, something like that, and so on and so forth. So, you know, they have the small, you know, mom and pop shops, and then they got the big stores, and they have other specialty stores. They have like another one called Benotto, which is B-E-N-E-T-T-O, I think. And I think they're like Italian or something like that. And so anyways, there's a lot of bike stuff out here. A little hard to find per se, but at the same time, not really. Like I was just talking to the guy at the bike store, because usually, for anyone that's been following this channel a lot, you guys know I'm a bigger guy and I need a bigger bike. And because I do need that, it's a lot harder for me to find that. Same as like shoes or, you know, other bigger clothes. Again, we've talked about this in other episodes before. By the way, I'm here. I'm just giving you the front view because I know you guys prefer that. But anyways, but yeah, I was just talking to the guy and just letting him know about like my troubles, you know, with my bike. And you know, because he was, so like basically what happened with my bike, I needed service, but then we realized that basically the stem kind of broke, or it's kind of messed up. So we might have to replace the stem or replace that whole situation there. So with that being said, as we were talking about that, you know, he was telling me, he's like, oh yeah, we don't have these in stock, you know, this is like an extra large, we're gonna try and fix it for you, but in case we gotta, in case it's broken, we might have to order it. And it's you know, it's a bigger size, you know, therefore it's a little bit more difficult to have around here. So I was just telling him about my situations with the bikes and all this other stuff, you know. And he was just basically telling me that yeah, you know, like now, you know, they're actually getting more and more bigger items in stock. So, you know, I have like a 29-inch rim, and he was just basically saying, he's like, oh yeah, we got those now. I mean, recently, but we're starting to get like the bigger rims, the bigger bikes, and the bigger stuff. And so I was like, oh really? That's awesome. That's great, because that saves me a lot of headache, because a lot of times, you know, well, hopefully, you know, from that conversation I don't have to worry about it now, but in other times in the past, what I actually had to do was like go get the part myself, figure out how to get that part, and then bring it back to them and have them fix it, or have somebody fix it. So thank God I don't got to worry about that for the time being. So yeah, so let's get back to like talking about the mail. So, you know, so like let's talk about Mexican mail for a second before we move on to, you know, the FedExes of the world and all that. So out here, you know, they have again, we already talked about the post office, okay? The Mexican post office, right? They suck. They're terrible, and it's for a lot of reasons, you know. As you already know, by any government run entity, they're not going to be that good. And this is no different out here. And you already know the whole government situation out here. We're not going to get into that, but I digress. At the end of the day, you know, the whole postal service out here is pretty terrible, but people still need to ship things throughout the country and throughout Latin America. So there are other companies out there like Estafeta and other companies that I have no idea what they're called or named, and they can come in many different shapes and sizes, company size. But I digress. At the end of the day, you can ship things from, like, let's say here Merida to Tijuana, you know, from one end to the other end for very, very, very cheap using these companies. And again, in some cases you're able to even ship from to another Latin American country and even into the US. But I'm not quite sure about that. I know at the very least that if you just need to ship within the country, or you know, anywhere, you know, really close, but I would just stick to at least within the country, you're good to go. You'll find a lot of couriers out there that will do this for a fair price, cheap price. All right, and so that's a situation with that. I'm just looking over, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. I'm kind of a little lost, but aren't I always? Okay, so you know, so there is mail service. Things get shipped and moved around, and you know, it's actually really, really good. It's just that the one misconception we have, especially if we come from the US, is that we think that the post office, the Mexican post office, is going to be just as good as the US post office, and it's just not even anywhere close to that. In fact, like I said, we were very spoiled in the US when it comes to that. Now, I can't speak for any other country because I have no idea what your situation is in whatever country you're actually watching this from and coming from, but at the very least, you know that out here, in order to really get something shipped, so let's say I got to ship something to Europe, let's say I got to ship something to the United States, let's say it doesn't matter, you know, wherever I got to ship something, for the most part I have to use FedEx, I got to use UPS, I got to use, you know, a lot of these other companies, because basically that's the only way I'm gonna get, you know, my stuff to where I need to get. So if someone's gonna ship anything to me, you guys basically only have three options, which is FedEx, UPS, and DHL. And I think there's a few others, but for sure those are like the ones. And so as you know, you're shipping, you realize, you know, when you're gonna send something to FedEx or UPS or whatever, you quickly realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm just sending a package that has like a t-shirt or just a few pieces of paper, like let's say a couple contracts, or you know, whatever it is, something very minor and very light. And all of a sudden you're gonna see, you're gonna have some sticker shock where the price is probably gonna be somewhere in the 75, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was thinking something else here. But anyways, it's gonna be somewhere in the $75 to $100 range. So about 75 bucks on the low end to 100 bucks on the regular end to get something shipped from, you know, again, Europe, the USA, Canada, you name it, to Mexico, and vice versa. Because if you're gonna get something shipped out here to Mexico, it's kind of like the same thing. So it doesn't matter whether you're shipping into Mexico or shipping out of Mexico, it's going to be expensive. And again, why is that? Well, because all of a sudden now you're going to use a professional courier, someone that's actually going to, you know, handle your package correctly. Oh,
that's what she said.
And that's when you quickly realize why it's expensive. And you know, it is what it is. So, you know, if you want to make sure, like let's say you got to ship contracts, you got to ship anything, you got to ship, let's say someone's shipping you something from the USA and it's important and it's whatever, you have to ship it through FedEx, you have to use UPS, you got to use one of these things. Now again, let me reiterate, this is if like you're shipping yourself, if you're just doing the shipping and all that stuff. Yeah, sorry, I want to walk a little bit more over here so you guys can see more of what I'm seeing here. It's just so hot today. But yeah, like I said, you know, this is basically the prices is like if you're shipping, or there's, you know, meaning you're shipping yourself, or someone's shipping to you privately. You get what I'm saying? Like a private type, you know, just, you know, two people that know each other type of thing. But if a lot of times if you need to ship something, let's say someone is shipping something out to you, let's say Amazon from the USA, or GoPro from the USA, or whatever company it is, shipping out to you. I gotta go this way. I'm pretty sure it's this way. You know what? I think I gotta go this way first. But anyways, I digress. The point I'm making is that, you know, you'll quickly realize that if you're getting things shipped out by some sort of company, you know, Apple. So for example, when I have my Apple computer shipped out here, free shipping. Okay, when I have my GoPro things shipped out here, free shipping. Amazon, free to minimal shipping. You know, just depends. The shipping with Amazon's a little depends. But for the most part, it's still cheap. It's still cheap. It's not. I mean, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's kind of crazy. You'll see like you want to order something that's like $5.99, like $5.99, and all of a sudden like the shipping is like $50. And like, what the hell? Bruh. So but it's very rare. For the most part, most things coming out of like these big companies or corporations, they'll get here, they have a thing set up, because the reason why things really are expensive more than anything else is because of the border. And it has nothing to do with the import tax and all that other stuff. That's like a separate issue on its own. That's like a separate issue. All right, so if you're, depending on what you're shipping, let's say you're going to be shipping things like electronics or other type of expensive products or whatever, it's going to be a different price altogether as well. Just FYI on that too. All right, so let me see how much we've I think we got a pretty good episode. Still got to find out where I got to go here. Always a little lost. It's not a bad thing. All right, but let's flip the camera around a little bit here so you guys can check me out as I talk to you about these things. All right, so, you know, back to what I was saying. At the end of the day, guys, you know, the whole shipping thing out here is a little bit more complicated, and it's not what you think it is. It's nothing like, you know. All right, not quite sure where this all ended. It seemed like the camera got overheated again. Doesn't matter what kind of camera I have, the heat always seems to kill this thing, no matter what. And that's how hot it is out here, and that's how much I put this thing to work. But yeah, these GoPros are basically almost impossible to break or kill, and man, you guys already know I've already broken and killed a bunch of them, and I still don't stop. So speaking of which, I don't know where I ended the whole thing, but I'm pretty sure that you guys already got the gist of it. And I think that's a good base for you guys to start understanding what's going on with all that out here. And I encourage you guys to please, you know, leave down below your experiences, your comments, your anything, you know what I mean? Because like I said, you know, there's all like a community effort, you know, so please, if some of you guys have had some experience with this, and you guys have some stories you would like to share, please, I would like to hear them. I'm sure everybody else would as well. And any kind of advice or any kind of tips or any questions, any more questions, or any kind of anything at all, any inquiries, you name it. So please, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, as we did walking and bike riding. All right, so the bike is going to be out for at least a week. Who knows how long that's going to be? It might be longer. Hopefully everything gets fixed soon, but if it doesn't, well, we still got our Chevrolet legs. No need to worry, right? So all right, guys, you already know the deal. If you like this kind of content, you already know what to do. Don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit the bell icon, but more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Thanks again for watching, and see you guys on the next one. God, it's hot today. Bye.